Hello everybody, welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. I'm very excited because I think maybe we've unlocked Hanako's storyline. So, let's hope so. Let's hope we get some kissing or something. Ooh. My alarm blares into my ears, only to be swiftly silenced by my fist. Yeah, I'm so hardcore. My body switches into auto mode, carrying my subconscious self out of bed and into my uniform. As always, my bottles of pills sit on my desk patiently, waiting for me to take them and pick out my daily dosage of medicine. 17 pills a day. Okay, I understand now why you're complaining. That's a lot. Holy shit. Before I know it, I'm opening the door to class 3-3, glad to see that I'm not the only one who seems to be a little hungover from festival week. Every face in the classroom looks gaunt. With the festival now over, it's as if everyone's life dreams have been achieved. With nothing left to live for, the students have relied on instincts alone to guide them to class. This is really heavy stuff. Post-festival depression, that's a thing. I like to go to Armageddon and cosplay. I haven't for a long time, but when I do, like the whole weekend, I get this like post-con, just life's not worth living. Or, yeah, maybe we're both reading a bit too much into it. I slowly make my way to my seat, and it's only then that I realize why the room is so peaceful. Misha and Shizune, we haven't seen them for a long time. The seats beside mine are blissfully empty. The world's loudest interpreter for the deaf has yet to arrive. Oh God, speak of the devil and he shall appear. Yahoo! It's all over! Oh, bless her. It would appear that not everyone is affected by the post-festival depression. The rest of the class glare at her, obviously thinking the same thing I am. Misha, still frozen in the doorway with her arms still in the air, nervously looks around. It's obvious that she senses the foul mood, but can't work out exactly what to do. Suddenly, she jerks forward. Hey! As she stumbles into the classroom, she reveals Shizune, arms still extended from where she shoved Misha. Thanks for the entertainment, but shouldn't you two take your seats? Oh, the shade. Still slightly embarrassed, Misha takes her a few seconds to realize she has to translate.
Oh, yeah! Oh, okay. She tried to say she's not happy with you ditching us last week. We were really busy.
Is that so? What about all the stuff I did for you two?
She says that only counts for council members. Since you declined, she doesn't owe you anything.
Misha leans closer and whispers conspiratorially into my ear.
Actually, I think she's just a little sore that you didn't spend the day with her.
Oh, she is into me.
She's really thankful for your work last week, though.
Sensing that she's been talked about, Shizune lightly wraps her fingers on her desk until Misha turns around to face her. Sign language and stuff. I can't understand any of the fast-paced signing that's going on, but from Shizune's slightly embarrassed expression and Misha's poorly contained laughter, I can guess. While this exchange is happening, the door opens once again, but this time at a much more reasonable pace. Muto-san! Oh no, a girl! Hanako quietly enters the room and pulls the door closed behind her. Peering out from under her hair, she quickly scans the classroom. Our eyes meet. Oh, and she suddenly stiffens. No, she's supposed to smile at us. She closes her eyes, takes a deep breath, and then walks over to my desk.
Good morning, Haseo.
Morning, Hanako. You're a little late, aren't you?
I was talking to Lily. About today.
Ah, so you've got her list then? We can leave straight after classes in that case.
Sure.
I'm looking forward to it. Hanako briefly flashes her embarrassed smile at me and then hurries off to her seat. Oh, we're falling for each other. We are. During classes, it becomes apparent that it's not only the students that are a little despondent after the festival. Muto simply gives us a list of exercises from the textbook and then sits behind his desk. I totally forget about the brief lunch period for a moment, which is the banality of the day. It's mind-numbing, and everyone seems surprised when the bell signals the end of the lessons. I wouldn't be surprised, I'd be watching that clock like a hawk. As I'm packing up my bags, Shizune and Misha flank and entrap me.
Say, Hee-chan, it's still not too late to join up. There's a lot of post-festival paperwork for us to complete.
Wow, you're really selling it to me there, Mish. Yeah, that sounds great. I'm in. Actually, sorry, Misha. I've got plans. As if sensing the cue, Hanako appears behind me holding a small bag and trying to avoid eye contact with the outside world. Misha's eyes open wide and she bursts into laughter.
You move fast, don't you, Hee-chan? We won't disturb your date any further.
Behind the roaring Misha, I see Shizune taking far too little interest in the scene. I might be taking this the wrong way, but I think she's deliberately ignoring me. I feel a little tug on my shirt and turn to see Hanako's eyes fixed firmly on the floor. Gotcha. Shizune, Misha, I'll see you later. I'm still not interested in joining the council, by the way.
Spoil sport.
Oh, music break. Coming in early with the maze. Misha and Shizune retreat into the hallway, happily signing to each other. Got all your stuff? Let's head off. The gates. Floods of students pour out of the school gates and onto the road into town. The gates of doom. It's a little weird. It's almost like a scene from any other high school, but the illusion fades because the occasional wheelchair or missing limb. One thing I do notice is that nobody is alone. And as Hanako and I press through the gates, I notice that she closes the distance between us. Oh, not enough to be considered close, but she certainly isn't at her usual just a little far position. I guess we're not familiar enough for her to get as close as she does with Lily, though I'd like that very much. However, even though she has moved a little closer to me physically, mentally, she seems to have traveled a mile. Her hands clutched around the leather straps of her bag to the point of whitening her knuckles, her head down and her mouth pursed closed. She almost looks like she's being walked into the principal's office for the first time. She's nervous because she likes you. I try to stifle a giggle at the thought, but it's futile. What's the matter? I guess there's no point in hiding it. Sorry, for a second there, it looked like you were getting in trouble. What? What do you mean? I think you need to relax a little. We're not going too far, and it's only students around, right? Right, yeah. It bothers me a little to see Hanako so worked up. And you do this every week, don't you? Yeah, but with Lily. Of course, with Lily. I wonder, has she ever left the school without her? It doesn't seem like much at first glance, but Hanako's dependence on Lily is absurdly heavy. If she can't even handle leaving the school without her, how would she have managed to survive if the two had never met? Would she have found someone else to latch onto? And what drew her to Lily? Was it her lack of eyesight? Probably. Or was it Lily just kind enough to lend a hand? I wonder if anyone would have fit the bill. Well, I'm here. Besides, we're not going far. It'll be over before you know it. What if I don't want it to be? Hanako's knuckles slowly regain their color as she tries to hide a small smile, but the effort of that seems to prevent further conversation. By the time we reach the convenience store, we are practically alone. Using me as a shield between herself and the attendant, Hanako moves through the narrow aisles, adding an assortment of items to her basket. Bread, milk, tea, time. What kind of convenience store sells herbs? Oh god, I hate these ones. Then again, nothing about this town seems normal, which may not be a bad thing in retrospect. Everything is so different and uncomfortable. Dwelling on such matters isn't really an option. When I think about that, it reminds me of Hanako. No matter how much you try, you can't escape her scars. They still interrupt my train of thought when I see them. As much as I don't want to admit it to myself, I think I'm forcing myself to try to ignore them. Not that I'm scar-free myself. The jagged line down my sternum will never completely fade away. See, you can kind of relate. I just have the luxury of being able to hide it easily. But in a way, both of our scars remind me that we're all in this place for a reason. Hanako throws one last item into her basket, then sheepishly holds it out to me, along with a few blank notes. Could you, please? It takes me a second to understand what she's trying to say. Oh, You want me to pay for this? She nods, but doesn't look up. I guess this task falls to Lily on the usual occasions. Sure, let me just grab a couple of things. Hastily, I grab a few items for myself and head for the counter with Hanako in close tow. Our transaction complete, Hanako and I head back onto the street. For a mizu break! The road is pretty much abandoned now. The students that were heading out have already left, and nobody has started returning just yet. And with only the school ahead on the road, there doesn't seem to be anyone else around. The emptiness certainly reflects on Hanako, her arms by her side, each carrying a bag, her head no longer bowed, and back in the upright position. It's almost as if she were enjoying this walk. So, why all these weird things? Mixed spices? Why would you need that in a school? Sometimes I make food. Well, yeah, so do I, but spices? That's a little more advanced, don't you think? She's good at it. Not really. Well, I think it's cool. You'll have to teach me one day. Sure. She doesn't seem all that sure, but pushing the point doesn't seem all that wise man. Outside the girls' dorm, Hanako and I sort out the grocery bags with our respective purchases. On comparison, my things look positively plain. I tell you, you're putting me to shame here. No, I'm not. I'm only joking. I have a stack of homework that I skipped last week, so I must leave now. Will you be alright getting to your room? Yeah. Sure? Okay then, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. No kiss. Piles of papers sit upon my desk, begging to be completed. With the entire ruckus of the last week, I've barely had time to catch up. No Kenji time. Darn, I like Kenji time. I tried to keep up with my studies while I was in the hospital, but some of this stuff I've never seen before, even back in my old school. Totally unprepared, I pop the top on a can of drink and get to work. I want a soda now. A Mountain Dew would be great. Oh, that's it! That is it! That is it! We are finished. 13 minutes! Come on! Should we just keep going? I'm ready for the new day. Mizu break. Hydration is important because the heat is starting to heat up. The days are really starting to heat up. That's what I meant to say. This morning, I awoke covered in sweat. Ew. By the time the student body starts leaving their dorms for breakfast to add morning duties, the sun has taken full effect. Oddly, that puts me in high spirits. I would hate that. I hate the heat. I can't function properly. I can't concentrate. Yes, today will be a genuinely lazy day. For a second, I stop in mid-stretch and consider the nurse's warning about exercise. Maybe I should have kept up those morning jogs. Probably. Running with someone like Emmy might have been a little testing, but if I worked at my own pace, who am I kidding? I couldn't stick to something like that without some kind of motivation. Emmy, it's not like I sit around all day. The walk to and from the convenience store counts as exercise, right? Especially the walk back up the hill. Almost killed me first time round. It's no big deal. Compared to months lying on a hospital bed, I'm getting plenty of exercise. It seems that I'm not alone in my appreciation of the day. Nearly every member of the class is glancing through the window and into the tantalizing sky. Even the steadfast Shizune seems to lack her usual vigor for schoolwork. Misha, as brazen as ever, has even unbuttoned the top buttons of her shirt, ooh la la, and is fanning herself with a notebook. I must have been staring, as she's now sticking her tongue out at me. The lunch bows seem to catch everyone by surprise, and the class empties at a much slower pace than usual. I thought it would be faster because they would be out that door, into that outside. The heat seems to be draining the need to rush from everyone. Well, almost everyone. Hiseo? Hey there, Hanako. What can I do for you today? Hanako already has a lunch bag in hand. I don't have to be a detective to work out where this is going. In my pants. Would you like to have lunch with us again? I bought enough for everyone, including you, so please say yes. Awesome! You don't have to be so stiff about it, though. Oh, right, sorry, it's just that I'm really nervous, and this is just me as a person. You should learn to love and appreciate me for how I am. I take it we're going to the tea room? Please. Lily said she'll meet us in there, so we should go together. That sounds like a plan. Hanako breathes a sigh of relief, and I gather my things together. As usual, the aura of the tea room is refreshing, feeling isolated from the rest of the world. Then again, the usual din of the school seems to be a bit subdued, most likely from laziness promoted by heat exhaustion. See, that's why. Hydration. Important. Hanako slowly spreads her food on the table, intently focusing on every little movement as if she's trying to keep her mind off other thoughts. Like me. It's not much, but I can tell from her demeanor that she's prepared everything with utmost care. I guess Lily isn't here yet. Should we start without her? She'll be here soon. Hanako struggles with the lid of the container of rice. Here, let me help you with that. I take the container from Hanako's hands and try to force open the lid. Try as I might, I'm just not manly enough. It's wedged shut. Let me guess, did you put this in while the rice was still hot? Yeah, I was in a rush. I put the container on the table between us. I thought so. This looks like it's wedged shut. We'll need some hot water to get it open. But that could be a pain in here. We'd get water everywhere. Well, in that case, how about I contribute to today's meal? At the door, Lily smiles while holding up a bag stocked with various buns and bread rolls. I can't help but do the same. Yummy. Since you had a change of plans because of me, I thought I'd bring a little something too. Thanks, Lily. Here, let me get that for you. What do I contribute to these lunch dates? Absolutely nothing. I hastily make some tea to complete the picture. There we go. We're giving them some tea. Well, I'm looking forward to this. As I take a bite, I notice Hanako trying her hardest not to look like she's looking at me. It's nothing special, but then again, I can't really complain. I'm pretty lazy when it comes to cooking for myself. Not bad. Hanako's always liked to experiment when it comes to food. I think it's good. Most of the time. While Lily's smile doesn't waver, the slight change in her tone tells me that things have not gone so well in the past. It's not like Hanako has many people to sample her cooking. Hang on, was Lily waiting for me to go first? She didn't start eating until after I said it was all right. Oh, that little minx. Her cheeky grin tells me that this was a deliberate action on her part. Well, it's good, and that's all that counts, right? Right. Lily, satisfied at not being the first to sample Hanako's creation, begins to consume the food that's in front of her. Not wanting to miss out, I start filling myself up. Hanako takes a different approach, waiting until Lily and I have our hands clear before quickly snatching at her share. Why? Why is she not eating with us? That's weird. Thank you, Hanako. That was filling. No, thank you for the bread. Yeah, it would have been a disaster if not for that. Don't say that, that's rude. You're both welcome. But now, I must be getting back. It's far too easy to be late after eating here. Yes, I see what you mean. I think we'll just have to clean up here and then head off. Well then, good day. She's not going to help us clean up. That's okay. Lily leaves, her cane tapping away down the quiet hall. Hanako and I quickly pack our things, and I stay seated, waiting for the bell. Together, we stare out the window and into the endless azure sky. If it weren't for the pealing of the bells, I would have sworn that time had stopped. The urge to skip class rises in my gut. I shoot a glance at Hanako, who shows no sign of moving either. Not just yet. Let's just not go. Let's just stay. The interval between the warning bells and the end of lunch bells pass in the blink of an eye. Well, we really should go. People will freak out and start a search party if we skip. Hanako sighs. You're right. She could skip. She doesn't seem to have a problem with that. Slowly, she rises to her feet, and I follow suit. Silently, we make our way up the old stairs to the 3rd floor, and then to our classroom. At the door, I take point and open the door ahead of Hanako, bowing my head down in apologies in advance. I'm sorry we're late, teacher. Muso, ever tardy, has yet to arrive. However, the fact that Hanako and I have arrived together is blatantly obvious.
Wow, the lovers return!
Yeah, thanks. You can calm down now? Ooh. I step through the door and realize that Hanako is firmly pressed against my back, hiding herself from the class. Quickly checking the door for any signs of the teacher's arrival, I make a trip to Hanako's desk and whisper in her ear. That's not going to help the claims that you guys will love her, but that's cute.
Don't worry about Misha. She's always like this. I enjoyed myself today. Don't sweat it, okay? Hanako nods her head from behind her folded arms, but still doesn't show her face. I yearn to stay and console her more, but Muto picks this exact moment to enter the class, halfway through his lecture, as if he started it in the hallway. Which, of course, is directly proportional to the change, but inversely proportional to the square of the distance. He's so engrossed in his speech that he doesn't even notice me sneaking back into my seat from Hanako's desk. While Muto's spiel rambles on, Misha leans over to me.
The teacher may not have noticed your tardiness, but I did. I have been instructed to let you off the hook for today, but only on one condition.
Oh, and what would that be?
You have to help us this afternoon.
Okay, I thought she was going to say you have to be on the student council, so that's not too bad.
I crane my neck to look over Misha's shoulder. Shizune is conveniently not making eye contact with me. Fine, just for today. I've already told you I'm not joining the council, remember?
Of course! Doing so would be considered.
She looks down at her notebook, obviously looking for her place in her script.
Under duress, and hence would be against regulations.
How very strange of you to be considerate of the regulations now.
Things should be done by the book. You gotta do the cooking by the book. You know you can't be lazy. It's just that the book hasn't been written for every situation, so there are times when things can be ignored.
And yet, you two wonder why no one else wants to be in the student council? Good point. After poking her tongue out at me, Misha returns to her workbook, and we battle our way through the latter part of the school day. Got that song in my head now. Before I can even stand up, Misha and Shizune have placed their hands on both of my shoulders. Hey, I'd said I'd help out, damn.
This is just insurance, Hiseo. Insurance.
Hiseo? Hanako timidly tries to leave the room by circling around us, and I suddenly realize this may be my last chance to escape. Oh, hey, Hanako, what's up?
Hey, what makes you think you've got time to chat?
Oh, relax, this won't take long. Sorry, Hanako, you were saying?
I was going to the library, and I thought maybe...
Hanako's thumbs dance around each other and her eyes flit around the room, looking everywhere but at us.
Sorry, Hanako, but Hiseo has to come with us. He has got work to do. Oh, but you can help too if you'd like.
Yeah, come on, come help, come with us.
So, how about it, Hiseo?
What do you think, Hanako? I've done enough work for the council already.
Ooh. What do you think, Hanako? Right? Because otherwise she can't come. They'll just get defensive and be like, fine, we're telling you. And by the way, she can't come now. So this way, yeah.
What do you think, Hanako? If we all help out, it shouldn't take long at all. Hanako's fidgeting answers my question before she can even form the words. She's not gonna come.
I really need to go. Damn it, did we choose the wrong thing? Oh.
Well, that was to be expected. Looks like it's just me and the council girls again. It's easier to resign myself to another afternoon's work in the small council office. Okay, I'll catch up with you later, okay?
Okay. She smiled. That's a good sign.
Right. Now that the farewells are over, it's time to work.
Yay. I feel a little bad for ditching Hanako like this, but if this is the price for getting Misha off her back, so be it. So then, what are we up to today?
Debrief!
Huh? Isn't that supposed to happen after something?
Yep! We have to collate all the information from the festival so that Shi-chan can debrief the teachers.
Wow, this sounds fun.
Shizune drops a large pile of paperwork on the desk in front of me and smiles succinctly.
You need to sort these out into 2 piles. One for financial stuff like receipts, one for feedback, one for positive feedback, maybe one for like things that look like they could be problems next year, one for problems that probably won't be able to be fixed.
This is more than 2 piles.
That's a few more than 2 piles.
Huh? Oh right, yeah. I thought it would only be 2 piles. My bad.
Right. While I'm doing this, what exactly will you two be doing?
Well, we missed lunch because we were collecting all of these reports, so we're going to get some food.
Why didn't you just sort them out while you were collecting them? Thankfully, my self-defense mechanism kicks in and prevents me from opening my mouth and further worsening my situation. So Hanako could have come because they were leaving anyway.
How is that fair?
I was fretting over the unfair distribution of work so much that I didn't notice that Shizune had kept on signing. If it weren't for Misha's outburst, I probably wouldn't have noticed at all. Whoa. Shizune seems to be delivering a fairly long string of commands to Misha, and none of them look pleasant. Reaching a conclusion, Misha signs briefly back to Shizune and then sits down at the desk next to me. She looks a bit worried. Shizune waves to the both of us before disappearing out the door.
Oh, she's left her here with us.
What was that all about?
Shi-chan was worried that you'd get all this wrong unless you were supervised. And since she can't tell you when you're messing things up, she's making me stay. Bummer. I wanted to go with Shi-chan. But she is going to bring us back some food. How good is that?
Misha's flippancy is out of this world. From down in the dumps to on top of the world over some calories? She's got that one that you flip back and forth. What is it? Not ADHD. Bipolar? It's hard to imagine how anyone could operate at that level. Well, it could have been worse. So, what are we supposed to be doing? I wasn't listening before.
Collation!
I gathered that.
Well, let's just start making piles. We'll work out what the piles mean later.
Right. I thought you were here to make sure I didn't fuck it up, but it sounds like you are. Worse than me. We start to separate all of the papers into increasingly complex piles. At first, it's just simple categories: financial, feedback, incident reports. Then they split apart into the good and bad reports, and further still, until it starts to look like we've just thrown the papers onto the desk. This is hopeless.
Huh? Why? We're doing what we were told, right?
Yeah, but it looks like we're just making a mess.
No, I think we got a lot done. Shi-chan will be able to work out the rest from here. So, I think we can just stop there then.
It's almost as if Misha's common sense left the room with Shizune. Still, there is no point in arguing.
Anyway, what's the deal with you and Hanako?
Deal?
You were hanging out with her today, weren't you? Have there been fireworks?
There literally has. So, yeah, I guess so.
Any gossip that you're withholding from me?
Why would I do that? If I told you about my own circumstances, it wouldn't be gossip, would it?
I guess not.
We're just friends, I guess. Oh, why are you so interested? I thought you and Shizune didn't like her.
It's not really like that. You know, Shi-chan and Lily don't get along well, and since you can't really get Hanako away from Lily, we just don't talk to her very much. But that doesn't mean I can't be concerned for her.
What is there to be concerned about exactly?
Well, she never hangs out with anyone, right? It's no good, He-chan.
If Shizune and Lily dislike each other because their personalities are different, then I hate to think how Misha and Hanako would get along.
I mean, in one way or the other, we're all in the same boat here, right?
Well, yeah, I guess.
This one time, when she left class halfway through, Shi-chan went to the teacher and asked what was going to be done about it. He said that every student here has special needs and that Shi-chan shouldn't worry herself about it.
True, wise words.
Hanako never does any group work, she just runs off. Isn't that enough to be concerned about?
I guess you're right. She still hardly says a word when we're talking.
Well, that's more than I've been able to do. Shi-chan and I both tried when she started, but she just got scared and ran off. You're a bit abrasive.
I considered telling Misha that exactly the same thing happened with me, but she seems caught up in thought. Listening to Misha about Shizune's influence is interesting. I think.
think she needs to realize that people here don't care what she looks like and that she can trust us.
It's more than that. It's a psychological thing.
If she could, I'd feel a lot better about her.
I think this is the longest I've watched Misha without seeing her sign. When she's with Shizune, she's constantly waving her hands about, explaining the world to Shizune. That amount of effort probably places a strain even on her agile mind. And let's face it, Misha isn't the world's brightest spark. Well, don't worry. I'll keep an eye on her for you. But you should probably apologize for earlier. I didn't think Hanako was cut out for that kind of joke.
Oh. I didn't even notice. Oh, sorry.
Don't say it to me, just mention it to her.
I feel like we definitely chose the wrong thing before then.
Alright, first thing tomorrow, I'll speak to her.
Good. A cacophony from the door heralds the return of Shizune. I guess she can't really tell how much noise she's making.
Oh, Shi-chan, you're back!
Shizune appears, completely laden with goods from the convenience store.
There was some surplus left from the festival. Since this is officially festival business, I've splurged a little. Nice idea, Shi-chan. 10 points.
Is that really allowed?
For someone who refuses to join us, you seem to take an unhealthy interest in the politics of this council. I shall punish your insolence by rationing your portion of the feast.
Fine. No, I get it. Don't do that, please. No. Misha slides the multiple stack of paper to one side to make room for the avalanche of food Shizune is spreading out, completely undoing all of the work we did. As I watch my hard yet misdirected work become wasted, I realized it's little wonder why these two need help. The convenience store meal isn't overly tasty, but at the very least, it's filling.
Thanks for helping today. Most of the time we just take up the reports for the staff. This year, we can at least make some relevant headings on the debrief.
Are you sure this isn't a corrupt organization?
Not at all. We're by the book. It's not our fault if the book isn't specific enough.
I thought that was the definition of corruption.
You think too much.
You know what? You're probably right. Anyway, I must be off. That is, if I'm allowed to leave.
Your work has been deemed sufficient. You may leave.
Well, thank you. You know, if you stress the free meal side of things over the endless workload side, you'd probably end up with more recruits.
You might have a point.
Well, think about it. And think about what we talked about. You don't have to tell that to Shizune if you don't want.
What? Oh, right. I'll try to see her tomorrow. Good night, Hee-chan.
Night, Misha. Shizune.
And Kenji time? No Kenji time. That is the end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. It was fun. It wasn't as much Hanako as I was hoping for, and I'm a little bit annoyed that I think I chose the wrong option, but oh well, we can redeem things in the next part. So, if you like that video, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I shall see you next time. Jana!